glad to be here. The only person that says that, Coach Raj, is D-Mark Mitchell. Nobody else says that. So anyway, but that's because I've known him all my life and running around the gym when I was a little kid about 45 years ago. See Coach Washburn up there, and good to see him. Glad to be here, and this is a great event y'all have. While I was at Ozark, they did a similar setup like this, but this is much more SEC Media Day look-alike, and this is outstanding right here. And I had actually watched it on the computer in the past couple of years because we would play a few people from this area, so I'd want to see what they had to say. But I'm glad to be back home. You know, I've spent my whole career, except for 7 years, in this area as a coach and a player. A lot of special memories. Talking about the Opelika train coming by. I can think all the way back 30-something years ago as a player when we would play Opelika. You know, it didn't matter if the game was going on. That train was so loud at Opelika, you'd hear it on the field as a player, and then as assistant coach later on, you always heard the train there in Opelika. But I'm glad to be back. Glad to be back this area. I had 7 good years. We had a good situation in Ozark. We got things turned around. It was a tough job, but you know, at one time we had about 25 straight regular season wins. And it's just the same formula that we've used everywhere that I've been. It's what I was raised on as a player and a young coach. Strength and conditioning and being physical and, you know, being committed to running the football, being tough and being good on defense. And it's just the same formula that's always won for everybody pretty much. And, you know, I'm not very smart, so I kind of have to do the only thing I know to do. And, you know, it's strange how in sports you learn things, especially coaching. You know, I think about the fact that my first paid job, I was offensive line coach at Handley High School in Roanoke. And I had learned as a young assistant how to coach offensive line from a Michie Phipps who played for Coach Washburn at Lynette. And then, you know, and Coach Washburn, his first job as an assistant, he coached for Coach Lockridge at Valley High. And, you know, and things it's an ongoing cycle. And I've been blessed as a coach, the people I had the opportunity to learn from as a player and an assistant coach. You know, the good Lord blessed me to be in the right place and work for a lot of outstanding coaches. And they were all cut from the same cloth. And it was tough, hard-nosed football. And these kids are going to find out we didn't have spring. They're going to find out we practice a little different probably than the way most people practice in this day and time, except Coach Mark Rose up there. I guess that's why they got me and him in here at the same time. But we're going to practice a little bit different. We won't be out there throwing it around 75 times a day at practice. And that guideline the High School Athletic Association has given people for being physical and when you can hit, you know, they leave it real broad, like your time limits on hitting. Well, to me, a play don't take but about 7 seconds. So if I got only 7 seconds, I can do a lot of hitting for that 40 minutes if I'm only counting 7 seconds of contact when we're running a play in scrimmage or half line or inside drill. So I've warned the kids. I've told them, I said, it's going to be different. And I think they see by what we've done this summer with the strength and conditioning program that it's going to be a little different. Now, I say that, but I also want to say they've had an outstanding head football coach in Richard White at Dadeville High School. Won well over 100 games. Man, they've had some deep runs in the playoffs, some undefeated seasons, and he's a close personal friend of mine. And he really pushed for me to come take this job, and he pushed for me in the community. And it says a lot, somebody that's where he played and coached, and that's his home. So for him to push for me to have the job, felt like I've done a good job in my career to have somebody like him that wanted that. But you know, it's a change in philosophy as far as scheme-wise on offense and defense. It'll be a change, and that's the big thing. But you know, that's how I coach. And like I said, I don't know any other way. I'll tell you what we've inherited. a group of kids that are hungry. I mean, when we showed up, first day that they'd been out of school, and we were having a meeting trying to let kids know on social media and what time the meeting we had almost 50 kids show up that day. And so we've averaged about 46 kids show up 3 days a week. We go 3 days. They can come 2 sessions. We've averaged about 46 kids a day for workouts. And I mean, it's 2 hours that we get after them. You know, they're in the weight room for an hour and outside doing plyos and agilities and flipping tires and pushing sleds and running for an hour. So they have came in excited. And I'm proud of how hard they work, because the situation we're in, you know, we've been going all summer and you really don't know. People say we're going to play. They say we're going to do this, do that, but nobody knows what's really going to happen. So they've kind of had to have a blind faith and trust that they're going to get an opportunity for all this work to pay off. And I couldn't ask for any more. But, you know, a couple of things, taking new jobs. I've taken other jobs, and there's been times I've showed up and the keys were laying on the desk, and that was the most help you got. You figured it out yourself. And but the good thing about coming to Dadeville, Coach White was there, able to introduce me to the people, show me the daily routines, the things that go on. And there is a lot of pride and a lot of tradition in Dadeville. Dadeville's won. They've always won, and they've always had success. There's been times they've had down years, but it's never lasted. And that was the good thing about it. I knew going to Dadeville, we'll win. It may take a little time, but we're going to win. You're going to be competitive, because these kids understand the pride and tradition. I mean, they just watched Anthony Jennings, you know, play at Alabama and get drafted. So you know what type players you're going to have. It's a lot different than the situation I went to the last 7 years, went to school and never won, and hadn't won in years. So, you know, you got good things and bad things when you take a new job. They're also in the process of getting us a new field house built. We don't have our field house is not very big, and you can't get many kids in the weight room. But we make it work. But they're committed. Tallapoosa County Schools, they're committed, and the superintendent's office, the administration at Dadeville High School, they're committed to it, and the community is excited. And it's been hard to get out and meet a lot of people under the situations with this virus, but still have been able to meet a lot of people, and they're excited, and they care about the school, and they care about the football program. So that's a good thing. When you go somewhere that is really not important, they may not bother you much, but you're not going to get the things you need to be successful, and it takes the time to sell everybody. While my job in Dadeville, the hardest sell is going to be these players, the type practices that we're going to have, and changing the philosophy a little bit, because the community is excited. They want you to win. They expect you to win, so you don't have to sell the community. And so that's one of the big things about moving. Like I said, I think this is the 4th head job I've had, and we'll just use the same formula and not change a whole lot. And we only have 4 seniors. I have 4 seniors. And look, I had to look in the football program from last year. This is, when you took over and they were out of school, and I saw in there they only had 4 seniors. I said, well, that's good and that's bad. The good thing is these young kids will have more time to learn what we're doing, and we're going to have a great junior class. 2 of these guys are juniors, one's going to be a sophomore. So you got a good group coming. The bad thing is, I've always heard you got to have good seniors to win, and seniors are usually going to be your leaders. The situation we're in, we don't have a choice, but some of these young kids, underclassmen, are going to have to fill that role, because they're just not. That's all we have. 4 seniors, and I think 3 of them have started, but I feel good about things. We're in a pretty tough region. Reeltown moving up from 2A, great traditional rival. It don't matter what the record is. You all know over the years, Dadeville and Reeltown are always competitive. It doesn't matter. But when you add that to a region game, it sort of multiplies what it matters. And so then, Montgomery Catholic, everybody's got them picked to probably be the best team in the region right now. When you can get them from all over Montgomery, I guess you should have the advantage. But, I ain't gonna hold back. I've been doing it too long. What they do ain't right, and they always gonna do it. So they ain't gonna stop it. So we just have to live with it. But anyway, our region it'll be a tough region from top to bottom. Pike County will be a good, solid program. They had a outstanding team last year, but graduated a lot of seniors. We'll go to Goshen, so we got 2 long road trips in our region. Trinity's in there, then Beulah and Childersburg. So it'll be a tough region. But I believe these kids, when we put those pads on, that's when the rubber meets the road. Everything's good when you're flipping tires and doing all this stuff we're doing. Everybody works hard. But when you put that helmet on and it's 100 degrees out there, that's when the rubber meets the road. And that's when we're going to find out, because some that you think are players are not players when they put on the pads, because there's nowhere to hide out there. And so we're going to find out. But I do feel like if they transfer what they've done this summer, once we get in pads and we get the same kind of effort, I think we're going to be fine and we're going to be competitive. And I know at some point, we're going to have a chance to have a good football program at Dadeville High School. But I feel like if things go well, and like I said, if we transfer it over, it could be sooner than later. And I'm going to introduce these guys, and then if y'all want to ask questions to me or them, however we need to do this, we will. I got Lane Smith. Lane is quarterback. He was starting quarterback last year. He's going to be a junior. I got Vontae Wilson right here. Vontae's going to be a sophomore. He's inside linebacker, and he's moving to tight end on offense. They don't know what a tight end is because they hadn't had one in the spread. So I said, our tight end will be with their hand in the dirt, and they're going to block, and we'll throw some bootleg play-action stuff to them. But you won't be spread out there wide standing up. You're going to be down in three-point stance blocking. Jordan Parker, defensive end, and also another tight end. And like I said, I had to explain to him what a tight end is for us. It'll be a little bit different. And then that's my son, Will, down on the end. I brought Will with us today, and Will's going to be in the 4th grade. And he said this was going to be boring, but I told him it would be exciting. So he wanted to know why D-Mark didn't have any breakfast ready for him. That's what he wanted to know. So with me rambling on long enough, I guess we'll take questions, and then however we need to do this thing, we'll do.
All right, Coach, I'm excited. I'm ready to play for Dadeville right now. All right, here we got our first question.
Coach, your offensive philosophy, you can have the quarterback under center, or do you ever run any shotgun?
Yeah, when we're punting, we'll be in shotgun.
That's a good one.
Now, look, the good thing about this, yes, we're going to be under center, and we'll have 2 tight ends in there a lot of times. And there'll be times we'll have 3 backs back there. But we'll base out of I formation. But the good thing about the fact that they've been in the spread for probably the last 8-9 years, we are going to keep a few of the spread concepts. But it'll really be to add to our 2-minute offense, to utilize the fact that we have a quarterback can throw the ball a little bit and do some things like that. But we will be committed to being under center, running the football, being physical. And I know, I've seen it. I've seen it for the last 20 years since the spread started, and especially in the high school level. You can win games. People think doing what we do that we're huge up front. But I've not had that luxury everywhere I've been. But the fact that we double team everybody at the point of attack, we get a lot of angles, we commit to run the football, and we're forcing those guys on defense to make those pass defenders come up there and play in the box and be run defenders, and they don't like that. Because what I think is the worst thing that ever happened to high school football is 7-on-7. It should be outlawed because it has ruined high school football. Football's not 7-on-7, but we've almost ruined it by doing that. We've taken away the fact that a 185-pound guard that works his tail off can still play in a high school football game because he'll fire out and he'll block somebody. But we've made 7-on-7, and I never want it to turn into that. So I'm not. If it gets to the point where I have to be a 7-on-7 coach, I'll go work at Walmart as a greeter. And because I'm going to give us the best chance to win. And we're going to do something different, and it is different. But I'm telling you, those guys on the other side, when we're on offense, they don't like it because they want to play pass. They want to play 7-on-7, and the front, all they want to do is tee off and rush the quarterback. Well, they're going to have to play fundamental football against us and stop the run. And then that's when we use bootleg stuff, play action stuff, three-step stuff. But we're going to play football the way it was meant to be played. I mean, that's what I'm going to do and what I believe in.
Question for all three of the players, so y'all can just take turns at the podium. But, Roger, you mentioned the Reeltown rivalry. What does the rivalry mean to each of you, and how much is there a little added extra knowing it's a region game this year?
All right, guys, y'all can just take turns heading to the podium.
Come up there and talk to me. I need to repeat the question.
Yes, please.
Yeah, just the fact that the Reeltown is such a big rivalry for you guys. What does that rivalry mean to you, and how much is there even extra on that game now that it's a region game?
I mean, we just we like to beat Reeltown every year, and they've always been pretty close. And now that it's a region game, it's even more important to beat them. It helps us go to the playoff.
Well, I always wanted to beat Reeltown anyway, so I'm even more happier that it's a region game, so it'll be more important to beat them now.
Hey, while you're up there, I want to ask you, what is it like being a tight end now? You like it?
Yes, sir. Even if I didn't like it, he was going to make me play it anyway.
It means a lot, and since it's a region game, it's adding a lot of attention to the game. A lot of people in my neighborhood are from Reeltown, so they stop by and talk a little bit about it.
All right, hang on. D. Mark Mitchell?
Yeah, guys, I know that y'all played for Coach White last year. Tell me what you think about Coach McDonald so far. Let's go reverse order. Come over here, you start. Be honest now, he can't do anything right now, okay?
He wants to win just like we want to win, so that's the main part. It's a good offense. I think it's going to be like a good scheme we're running too, so it'll be all right.
He doesn't want to run sprints.
Well, he loves contact, and I like contact too, so he's a very good coach too, and he loves to motivate us, so he's a good coach.
We love him. He's a good motivator, and he's got everybody working hard this summer.